Hello Stamper, welcome to Frenchie's video. I'm Frances Martin, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. And today I'm going to show you a masculine card. I think it's called Gated Full. We're going to be using the Traveler stamp set. And this stamp set is only available while supplies last. So I wanted to have another last use of it, and people have been asking for Father's Day card, and I think this fit very well. So we're going to use this one, and for the greeting, I'm going to use Feather Together. Yes, again, I'm going to use Thinking of You, because it go for anything. So we're going to be starting with, let's start, I pre-cut here the oval, and I use the bigger one. So the biggest one I use Early Espresso, and then the one after that I use in Very Vanilla. We're going to start with stamping the train with a piece that's going to go in the center. The piece measure 2 5/8 by 5 3/8. And just eyeball that about where you would like your circle to go in the center here. I want it a little bit lower than, yeah, a little bit lower. I don't want it right in the center. So I'm just going to leave that like this. And we're going to stamp our train in the black. So let's stamp this. Make sure your stamp it's in very well. Make sure my oval is straight. You know what? It's a reason why I get grid paper. Let's put that straight. This is going to be easier. Okay, that looked pretty good. Now we're going to stamp the train, and the stack of smoke I bet going to go off, and that's why we want it to have both layers. Give a good impression, because the smoke you want it on the second layer. We're going to remove this. Oh, barely get any. I could have go higher. You know what? Let's try this again. I'm going to go this way, and now this way. I'm going to lift my train a little bit because I want that to go higher. Okay, let's put that like this. Let's ink this very well, and I'm going to put my train a little bit higher this time. Oh, perfect. You're going to understand why I wanted to have it higher there. Now I'm going to use let's remove this aside for now. I'm going to use Sarah Sand, and we're going to sponge a bit around this. I want it very vintage. I don't know if I say that at the beginning. I want this card to look very vintage. Very old. Here we go. So you see I start on my scrap and then go on my paper. That's pretty good. Now I want the luggage. And we're going to stamp the luggage in Early Espresso that I forgot in a scrap paper. 1 minute. Here we go. I knew I had forgot something. Now we're going to stamp this here. And this is in Early Espresso. And we're going to sponge with Sarah Sand again. I need a little bit more ink, and I could have done that in advance. Many people tell me that they get a hard time fussy cut. That means that we don't have a die for it. We have to cut it by hand. So that's the reason why I said I'm going to do the whole shebang in front. Here we go. That looked like a very old luggage. I know I get scissors here. Yes. Here we go. So here's the trick for cutting. When you cut, you try to move your paper around and not your scissors. See, my scissors still straight. I turn my paper, and that make it a lot easier to turn your paper than turning your scissors. Here I'm gonna have, see, I turn a lot more my paper than I turn my scissors. So really the scissors should open and close most of the time, and then when you hold the paper, that's what gonna give the shape. See, very easy to cut. So remember, move the paper more and less the scissors. Okay, so now we got those two pieces ready. We're going to do the side, and that I just going to use the luggage, and we're going to use what else in that? The passport, and then the camera. And this, I need to wash my stamp because early espresso for the next step going to be way too dark. We're going to stamp that with crumb cake. And that is just like, I didn't have a designer series paper, so we're pretty much making our designer series paper. This two piece here, it's going to be for each side, and that measure 1 5/8 by 5 3/8. 1 5/8 by 5 3/8. Okay, I got crumb cake, and what I'm going to do, you can really put them together if you want, and just, and then I'm going to go with the passport. And they're going to overlap, and that's okay. It's just like a background paper you want. And now I'm going to use the camera. It's like, you know, those newspaper pattern. Here we go. That is it, my friend. So now we are ready to assemble, except our greeting. The greeting, like I said, I'm going to put thinking of you, and I need a clear block. Here we go. And that, I will do that with early espresso though. I'm going to do this with early espresso, and right now I started this piece measure about, oh, not quite 1 inch. Really, let's trim that right away. The width of it, I want 3/4 of an inch. Okay, I got 3/4 of an inch, and I'm going to tell you the link. If you don't use the same greeting, start with like a 3 inch by 3/4. That's going to do very well. Thinking of you. And then we're going to do a little so I would say, yeah, 3 inch, it's plenty good. I'm going to cut that right there, go in the center, and do my little V. It's going to make my banner, but that is too plain for vintage. So yes, we're going to sponge. And really, I'm going to use my luggage here. Here we go. And then sponge all around. What? I got more of the Sarah sand here. I mean, you don't have to get it dirty like I do. It's just, I think the dirtier it look, the more old it look. Here we go. Now, time to make our card. We start with a piece of cardstock. It is 5.5 by 8.5. We're going to score at, okay, so it's 5.5, 8.5. Put the 8.5 at the top. You're going to score at 1 3/4. So that's the light blade. 1 3/4 and 2 7/8. So 2 7/8. So it's the line before the 3 there. The medium line there, 2 7/8. And instead of giving you a bunch of dimension, the measurement and that, flip this around and do the same thing. So it is 1 3/4. I find it a lot easier than trying to remember all the other one. And 278. Now we're going to take this, the last to the one in the center there, go in the back, and in the back, and then this, the first one, going to go in the front. So you see we get a gate there. Now, I'm going to take a bone folder. Let's reinforce this here. Okay, we're going to start with putting our sides. See now where we're going at this? And whoops, I got a new fast fuse. And it's running fast. A new one always runs so fast, it just surprises me every time. So we got one side done. I bet you're thinking, where are we going to put our grading? I got you covered. Don't worry about that. I'm going to show that in a minute. On dark paper, it's kind of tough to see where the score is. Just make sure you don't pass that score line because it won't fold. See, those two are going to leave it plain. So now we get this. Now our front here, and you know what, it's going to be kind of plain this. So what we're going to do, let's sponge with our Sarah sand. Because everything else, it's very sponge and dirty. Here we go. And the trick to sponging is all your paper tight. Here we go. Now we're going to glue that to the front of the card. Right here. I just wanted a little border, so that's why the 5/8 and so. Now, this is going to go glue on the other oval first. I hope I put the glue on the right side. Yeah. Here we go. And you know, when I stamp on top, you could see through the other image, but after you mount it on the dark paper, you cannot see that. I should have pointed that out at the beginning. And see, now this is going to go right here. So now I get my smoke. So let's mount that there. When you mount that there, you cannot put glue all over there because you see it cannot have glue on the side there. So the best thing for me is I just go in the center, well, a little bit off the center there. So that way you don't want no glue on each side because your card won't open. Now let's try to mount that right here. That looked pretty slick. Yep. Now I got my luggage. I thought that would make a nice little accent right here. It would be good too for somebody that do a retirement. If somebody is retiring, I think traveling like that, I think that would be great. It's great for Father's Day. Pretty much the train, it's pretty cool. Here we go. Oh, you know what? It's pretty much have to be here. Here we go. Now my thinking of you, I'm going to curl that there, go in the back. And we're going to put that right here. Ooh, it's going to be pretty. Here we go. Okay, so now we got our card. It's done. So I bet you're thinking where we're going to write. turn this around. And this card, it's not really inside, so it's the back that you're gonna write. So again, let's do our sponging all around because the rest it's all sponging. So all the dimension will be on my blog at FrenchieStamps.com, or just above there you get that little eye in the circle. If you click on that, it's going to show you exactly to click to bring you to my blog post. So all the measurements going to be there. So you don't have to try to write the measurement while you watch that. Just visit my blog. I'm sorry, the battery went dead. So just click on that eye there that I was saying, and it's going to bring you right at my blog post with all the measurement and the supplies list. Talking about the supplies list, remember this stamp set, it's only available while supplies last. Again, this is the Traveler. So hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget, if you like what I do, you can subscribe right below. You can subscribe, and I appreciate those thumbs up. Thank you so much, and have a lovely day, my friend. Bye-bye for now.